Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial video on my YouTube channel. I am Mr. Olo and this is Mr. Olo Designs. So in this tutorial video, I'm going to be teaching you how to create a logo design on CorelDRAW. And this logo design is actually a case study for a project I did for a client earlier this month of March 2022. So now the name of the brand is Flowers by Elena. Flowers by Elena. That is why you're seeing this flower image here, which I was able to use to get my color palette, as you can see here. So now I'm just going to go straight into designing the logo, because I've already done, like I said earlier, it's a project I did for a client. It's a Lagos-based brand. What they do is they sell flowers both online and offline. You could go to their shop in Lagos and pick out a flower you want. Maybe you want to purchase a flower for your loved ones, or you could even book a flower online and get it delivered to your loved ones, maybe to their offices, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, to your wife. You want to send a flower ahead, probably towards their birthday or anniversary. They can help you do that. So the name of the brand, like I said earlier, is Flowers by Elena. So I'm going to jump right into this particular tutorial video. So one thing to note is I'm going to teach you two ways in which you can create the logo I'll be creating today. It's an e-customized logo, like it's a logo that has to do with the initials of the brand Elena. So I'm just going to create a custom e letter for the brand, and I'm going to give it a bit of aesthetic. So let's jump right in. So briefly, I'm going to draw out my sketch. I'm going to bring in my sketch, which I did for the logo, or for the logo design process. So like I said, I've already done my research. From my research, I did my mood board. From my mood board, I created my sketch. So now this is the sketch I was able to create. So I'm going to rotate this sketch. Okay, I'm going to rotate this sketch. I'm going to put it so that, because I took the image in a landscape mode, so I'm going to set aside this. I'm going to duplicate and set aside a copy of this sketch. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this image. Okay, I'm going to crop it into parts. I'm going to crop out the E part away first. So now I'm going to just make a duplicate. Then I'll go to my crop tool. Okay, then I'll crop out the E. I'll crop out the E. Okay, I'm going to crop out this E. So I'm going to make sure everything is well segmented. I'll crop out my E. Okay, the mistake I did there is, whenever you want to crop out it, to make sure that it is the design you're cropping out is whatever you want to crop out that is selected. Okay, make sure whatever you're cropping out is what is selected. So I'm going to crop this out. Now I've cropped out this. So now the next thing I'm going to do is, if you notice this logo design, if you notice my sketch, you can see that it is a custom E that you can see here. But at the same time, you can see that there's this symbol up here signifying flowers. Okay, a blooming flower, a flower that is blooming. So the concept is, I wanted to infuse name of the brand, the initial of the name of the brand, and something to represent flowers. So now I have my sketch right here. So I have my sketch right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transparent this. If you're using Illustrator, it's called the opacity tool. So I'm going to transparent this and give it 70. So I'm going to lock it. Okay, so I can't be able to move around it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my sphere, to my ellipse tool, and I'm going to create a circle, a small circle. I'm going to align to the middle, then I will adjust the circle a bit. I think this is okay. Then I'll make a second circle and then a larger one and make a duplicate out of it. Okay, so I've created the second circle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create, this part, this area, to form this shape. These shapes that we'll use in creating our custom E, right? So I'm going to create this shape right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my rectangle tool. I'm going to create a box that aligns, that cuts across this outer circle and the inner circle. Now, why I'm doing this is because I want a situation whereby, since we are creating a custom something, okay, we are creating something that is custom made. So I want a situation whereby every dimension is equal. So the dimension between here, this outer circle, and the inner circle is equivalent to what? To the shape that is going to divide here. So that's how to create this length from here to here. So now I'm going to rotate this. Sorry, so I'm going to rotate this now. Okay, then I'm going to now spread this across. I'm going to also spread this across. And we've gotten that shape right there. Okay, I put it to the middle. So now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to rotate this to form this gap here. You can see that we cut away some part of our E. So I'm going to rotate this particular stuff since we already got it stuff. So I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to leave it here. Why I'm leaving it here so that it can align properly to this point. You see it intersected. Okay, it intersects this point and it also intersects here. So I'm going to leave it that way. Okay. So now I have done this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've created my grid from my this is the first method I'm teaching you from my sketch. So I'm going to unlock my sketch now, and then I'm going to remove it and set it aside. So now I'm going to go to my Smart Fill tool. You can find it here, Smart Fill tool. Okay. Now if you're using Illustrator, this is where you use your shape builder tool. I'm going to use my Smart Fill tool, and I'm just going to fill up this area. So let me give it a lighter color so that I can be able to see what I am kind of doing. Okay, let me just leave it at black. So I'm now going to fill up this. I'm just going to select these areas. Remember, our E has to end somewhere here. Okay, our E has to end somewhere here. So I'm just going to fill up this area. So now you can see that we've created our custom E. So we just have to delete these parts. So that is all we need to do. Delete all these areas. So now we've deleted that and we've created our custom E. But still, all these things are not equal. Sorry, they are not joined together because they are kind of separated. You can see they are kind of separated. So what we are simply going to do is let's just make a quick duplicate first. We are going to select this and we are going to come over here and weld. We're going to weld them together. So now they are equal. So now we weld them together. We can come over here and remove the outline. So now we remove the outline. Now I want to curve some part. I want to give it some other means of customization. So I'm going to curve the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my tool here. I'll go over to my shape tool. Okay, now you can see that all these nodes are much. Okay, you can see that the nodes are kind of much. So I'm going to go back to my shape builder. I'm selecting them. So to reduce the nodes, all you do is you come over here and select the node. Select all nodes. You click on it, then you reduce the nodes, and they are reduced. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select this part. I go back to my corners. Now if you can't find your corners in here, like if you can't find your corners among these places, all you just need to do is you click on the plus sign, then you look for corners like it is here for me now. I just tick the corners. If it's not activated for you, you tick on it and it activates. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring out my corners. I'm working in 30 pixels. I'm going to select this part and I'm going to curve it, and it is curved now. So I'm going to also curve this part, and there it is. So now I've left it that way. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it to about 20 degrees. Okay, now this was how I was able to create my client's logo. So now I'm going to set this aside, and this is the first method using the grid system. Okay, this is the first method using the grid system. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to delete this image. I'm going to delete these images. So now I'll set this aside, and sorry, let me bring this in. So now the second method I'm going to teach you now is the line method, or is the monoline method. So I'm going to bring back our sketch. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to create a circle, just a single circle, big enough. Okay, just going to create a single circle, and I'm going to probably put it at the middle. Okay, and I'm going to create a line, just a single line. and I'm going to align the line to the middle too, while this our circle is also at the middle. Now I'm going to rotate this line too. Okay, I'm going to rotate this line. Okay, I'm going to just rotate. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to rotate this line to somewhere here. Okay, I'll make a duplicate. So this is one method of doing this thing. Okay, now I'm going to make a duplicate, so I'm going to set this aside. Or better still, I'll just move this here. Now I'm going to go back to my line segments. Now, if you're using Illustrator, this is also where you use your shape builder tool, but in a different process. I'm going to go to my line segment. You go over here to your crop tool. You look for your virtual segment to delete. So I'm going to delete the excess part that I won't be needing. No, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to my virtual segment delete. I'm going to delete this excess I'm not going to be needing. So I'm just going to delete this part. Delete here, here, and here. Okay. I'm going to delete this part. I'm going to delete here. And I'm going to delete here. Now we have our E. So the next I'm going to do is I'm going to just select all of them, group it together, or preferably weld. Okay, I'm going to weld. Then I'm going to go over here and I'll increase the outline. Okay, I'll increase the outline. The outline is it's not okay. Let me try and increase it to there about 45. Too much. 40. Still much. 35. 30. I think 30 is okay. So here we have this. So now you can be wondering, but this is outline. I can't color it directly. For example, if you click on color now, it can't work. So what to do is you simply go to your objects. You go to convert outline to objects. Now you made it a complete. You now made it a shape. Let me put it that way. So now you can easily change the colors as you wish. Now you can see that this actually gave me the rounded stuff I actually wanted. It made everything smooth. So we are just going to rotate it to 20 degrees and leave it that way. So now this other method I'm going to teach you is equivalent. It's almost the same thing with this. Okay, it's the same thing with this, but kind of different, and should I say way faster. So we are going to select and create another circle again. Put it to the middle. Okay. Then we are going to, let's make this a bigger circle. Then we're going to select a line tool, we cross it over. We are going to put it this way. Okay. Now, one thing you want to do here is, instead of the process we did in order to remove this other part away, we are not going to do that process. What we are simply going to do is that we are going to select our circle and we'll come over here. Okay, and we'll turn it to an arc. You see, it automatically cuts this part for us. So once we've turned it to an arc, we can now increase this part to the length we want. So we can just go over here and we can keep increasing. You can keep increasing it as you want. Okay, you can keep increasing it till you get to what you actually want. Okay, so I think okay, I think we should leave it here. So now, since that is done, all you simply need to do now is you can still go over to your line segment and your virtual segment delete. You delete this part and this part. And you have your E, you select everything, you weld, you increase it to 30, increase the outline to 30. Okay, let's put it at 35. And then you come over to objects. Then you convert objects, you convert this to object, then you can give it a color. Then we rotate to 20 degrees. Now, this was the one I actually used for my client, and this is the one we are going to use. So you can see the 3 different methods I was able to teach you on how you can create these in CorelDRAW. So now we've done this. Now the next thing we need to create is this flower. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to crop this now. So So I'm just going to go to my crop tool, which is over here. Go to my crop tool, and I'm just going to crop this out. So now there was a method I used in making sure I get this particular stuff. Okay, there was a method I used in making sure I get this particular stuff, and that was to divide it into two. So that means for me to do this, I will have to just, crop just one part away. So I'm just going to work with just one part. So now there are ways you can do this. You can use your line tool. So I'm simply going to just lock this now, and I'll come over here. Okay, I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to just pen this out. These are ways you can actually do this. Okay, don't worry, we are going to adjust this later on. So now we've been able to do this. Okay, so all we just do is bring this out, then we just go back to our shape tool, and we can start adjusting. Okay, we can start adjusting as it pleases us. Okay, but this is a very long process. This is a process if you want to actually keep wasting your time. Like, this process is quite long, because we can actually finish doing this and we might not even get what we want, but there's something I'm actually looking for. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I'm just teaching you a process you can use to create this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a single circle. Okay, I'm going to create a circle, then I'm going to make that circle to come this way. Now I was able to discover this while do a sort of a freelance stuff. I just did this. So the next thing I did was, let me remove this, let me unlock this. Okay, you can see what I did here. So what I simply did was to create a line. So I simply just created a line in between. Okay, then I came to my shape builder tool. Sorry, I say shape builder tool. I came to my, okay, let me increase this. So what I did was I came to my smart fill tool, then I selected just this part. Or let me say I just selected this part, since you are dealing with this area. So if I should go through the whole process now, is going to be lengthy. So now what I did was, in order for me to get what I want, something curved like this, let's duplicate this. I came here, I came over to my shape tool, then I came over to corners, then I first converted these corners like this. Okay, or better still, if you don't want to use your corners, okay, let's put it aside. If you want to use your corners, you can just use your shape builder tool, your shape tool, and double tap here. Just double tap. Once you double tap, you've created this. So now I got these two things I wanted. So now that I've gotten these two, I'm just going to bring this and this way. So now it is now your choice. Which do you want to go for? You want to go for this, or you want to go for this? I prefer going for this because it's kind of resonated. It gave me this blows on, because now all you just need to do now is just to make a duplicate. You take it this way and you create a duplicate. You can also take this one this way and you create a duplicate. So now it was now my choice to go with the one I wanted. You see, I've gotten my stuff. So it was my choice to go with the one I wanted, and I preferred going with this. I don't know why, I just preferred it. So I'm going to set this aside. So I'll group this. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to select this and I'll group it. Select this and I'll group it. Then I have two options. So I will bring in my logo now to the middle, and I'll give it the color black. So you can see that we are almost done with our logo. I think my logo isn't getting me what I want, so let me increase the outline a bit more. Okay, this is better. So now you might be wondering, you have another outline, so how do we go about this? You go back to your object as usual, convert outline to object. But when you remove this, now you have your outline. So how do you make sure that this and this are working hand in hand? You select everything, you go over here and you weld, and you have your what? You have your stuff back. So you reduce the nodes, then you have your tool back. So now I'm just going to set these two outside now, and then I put this at the middle, and I put this somewhere here, okay, just like we have in our sketch, and I make sure it is aligned to the center using this, align to center horizontally. Okay, so now this is the one method. Like this is the one I want to use this particular flower shape for. So I'm going to also bring this, and I'm going to bring it this way. Okay, so I'm also going to align this and see if you were to choose which one will you be going for. Okay, so I'm going to bring these two as two to the middle. So I'm going to bring them like this. So you know, when I was creating this particular brand, this point actually made me confused, because I loved how this kind of went with this. I love how this balanced at the top. You know, it gave it this under layer of a flower. You know, understand, this under layer of a flower compared to this that is somehow not that wide. This just gave me everything. You know, it just gave me that's. So I finally went with this. Okay. So our next step now is to give our stuff. So is to color our stuff. But before then, we're going to create a background, which we're going to now use. Okay. So I'm going to align to the middle. Remember, we have our color palette. But in this case, I'm going to give this black. Like I always say, test your logo if it's working in black and white. And our logo was doing very, very fine in black and white. It is scalable. It is very, very scalable. Like even when it is down to the smallest, you can still see what is there. And when you enlarge it, it is still there. So this is in black and white. So let's test it in white and black. And there we have it. So we can just create this, make a copy, create a new page, paste, make this white and this black. Then we go over. This was how I started creating the colors for the brand. So I make a duplicate. So now I'm going to give it this. The first color I'm going to use is this. So this was the color I used. So I'm just going to drag in this color, or you could use Shift Ctrl E to bring out your color eyedropper tool. Okay. So I'm going to select this, Shift Ctrl E, and I'm going to select this color. Then I'll go over here and then use this color for this. So I'm going to select this, Shift Ctrl E, and I'm going to select this color. And there I got the very first color that the clients used. This is their primary color. Okay, this is their primary colors. But I had to go further. I made a duplicate copy, and then I made a duplicate, and then I decided to try the logo on other colors and backgrounds. So let's go. Let me delete this part. So we set aside this logo. Okay, so we are going to just make this reduction here. So I'm going to put this logo at the middle and start testing them out in different color modes. Okay, so this was one color phase. So I'm going to test it in another color phase and make a duplicate. So I'm just going to bring this. You can see you can even create color modes using the same color and see how it will look like if the color was reversed. Okay, now this is on that process. Let me make so I can easily make duplicates and duplicates. Okay, group, align to the center on group. So I'm going to create a color using the reverse mode. Okay, I'm going over here and I'm going to select one of these colors. So I'm going to use this for the background, and I'll use this for the logo itself. Okay, this was on that color mode, so I could okay, let me just delete this or leave it. I could just bring this out, make a duplicate down here. So this was how I started giving these colors different color modes. Okay, or yes, I know what to do now to make it look. There was something I was trying to get, so now I've discovered how how I'll be able to do that. So I'll do this and this. No, this, and then this. And I'll come over here. I'll try this out, and this. And I'll come over here. And I'll try this, and then this. Okay. I can come over here. I'll try this color out, and this particular one. Okay, that worked really good. Then I'll come over here and I'll try this and this. Okay, so I was able to create this different color palette mode for my client. Okay, I was able to create this different color palette mode for my client, and you know, like I said, this became their primary colors. This particular one became their primary color, and these other ones I sort of will call supplementary colors or supporting colors, or whichever case you want to put them. So this was how I was able to create a color mode for my client, and this was how, you know, like I said, first of all, what did we do? We created a logo from scratch using our grid system. Then we came over here and showed it to them how it would look like in black and white. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to give our logo a name. Okay, so we are simply going to select this particular black one. Okay, and we are going to create a duplicate now. We're going to give our logo a name. So I'm going to delete all these parts. Okay, let me just delete all here. So I'm going to go over to my text tool. I'm going to write flowers by what? By Elena. And the flowers are going to be in capital letters. By. I'm going to come over here and put this in lowercase. So I'm going to separate this now. I'm going to use Ctrl K to break text apart, so I can separate the down part from the upper part. So now this is now where choosing the font comes in. In this particular project, I had a very difficult time choosing the right particular font to go with, but you know, as usual, Montserrat always solves the problem. So I had to go over to my text tool and I chose Montserrat semi-bold, medium for the flowers, and I used Montserrat semi-bold for the Elena, or in this case, we're just going to use bold. Okay, so now what I simply did was to come over here and I reduced my flowers by. Okay, I made sure I reduced it and aligned it to the top here to make sure it aligns properly to the L. So I went over to my alignment tool and I aligned to the top. Then I'm going to also reduce this. Then I'm going to increase the kerning a little. I'm going to increase the kerning a little, so I separate the by. Need of increasing this, yes. So we're also going to make sure this is also aligned to the what? To the left, to the right, sorry. Yes. So, and that was how I was able to get, so I grouped both of them together. Then I'm just going to bring this over here and color it white. Now it's time for adjustment, so I'm going to make sure this is aligned to the middle. I'm going to bring this down here to make sure it is aligned to the bottom. Okay, aligned to the bottom. Then I'm going to reduce this and then bring it this way. I'm also going to reduce the logo itself. It's looking too big. Okay, I'm going to also reduce the logo because it's looking too big. So now I'm going to group them together. So now I've gotten our logo. So the next thing I'm going to do is let's just work with the colors that we already have. So now this was our logo. Okay, this was our logo, and from here I started playing with the colors, you know, trying to see if maybe I could make this, but I just have to leave everything this way. So now we've been able to create this. So I named this our primary logo because it is in its horizontal form. Then I made a copy and I duplicated it, and then I made this to align to the middle and this to the middle, and I brought this up a bit. Okay, now you can see that this isn't really all that balanced. Okay, so what I simply did here, because this can work, okay, this can work, but there was something I also did in this particular place. Okay, this can work though, but there was something I did. I made this and then I duplicated and tried something out. Like I said, sometimes it's very good to always try something out. So I made a duplicate of this and I ungrouped, then I aligned both of them to the middle. I brought them down a bit. Then I took the flowers up, just the flowers alone. Then after I did this, I discovered that it wasn't making sense because this L pushed up a little and I wasn't liking the space it was giving, because it might be closer here, but the space here to here is too much. So I just had to leave it the other way, the way it is here. And this became the secondary logo. And this is used in situations whereby the need involves us doing what we call, maybe the need involves us to align to the center. And this was how I was able to get my logo. So this was briefly how I was able to work with the client, and I was able to create something magnificent for them. Okay, so this is a very cool way that you can create a logo for your client. Okay, this is a very cool way you can create what? A flower logo or a custom logo for your clients. And we did it and we submitted it, and the client loved the concept, including all these color palettes that we did and submitted to them. So this is a very simple way that we did it, and we were able to get what we wanted from the client. We were able to dig deep into what the client wanted. We saw into the client's business, did our research, and we did everything, and we got the client exactly what they wanted for their logo. So this brings us to the end of today's tutorial session. If there's any part in today's tutorial that you don't understand and you're feeling, or you don't seem to get it, make sure to leave your questions in the description box, or in the comment section. I'll try to attend to you. I'll make sure I attend to your questions. And if you want to know more about logo design, please get to register for my logo design course, which is coming up very soon. It's coming up on the 4th of March 2022. 4th of April 2022. So make sure you try as much as you can to register for the course. The course is just 8,000 naira. It's a logo design course. It's starting on the April 4th of 2022. So you can register for the course and get to know how you can design logos from scratch using the grid system, knowing how to sketch, understanding client brief, and every other thing. Okay, so like I said, if you love this video, please make sure to like so that more people can see this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as this helps us to grow and to serve you better. If you want to improve your skills in logo design or graphic design, click on any of the videos showing on your screen. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Peace out.